Om Bhajagovindam chanting verses 21 to 25.
पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे रथ्याचर्पटविरचितग्रन्थः पुण्या पुण्यविवर्जितपन्थः योगी योगनियोजितचित्तो रमते बालोन्मत्तवदेव कस्त्वं कोऽहं कुतायातः कामे जननी को मे तातः इति परिभावय सर्वमसारं विश्वं त्यक्त्वा स्वप्नविचारम् त्वयि मयि चान्यत्रैको विष्णुः व्यर्थं कुप्यसि मय्यसहिष्णुः भवसमचित्तः सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्य चिराद्यदि विष्णु त्वम् शत्रौ मित्रे पुत्रे बन्धौ मा कुरु यत्नं विग्रहसन्धौ सर्वस्मिन्नपि पश्यात्मानं सर्वत्रोत्सृज भेदाज्ञानम्
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करमावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति. There's an interesting story about King Janaka. They say that one day Janaka woke up from a horrible dream, terrified, and he immediately called the council ministers and explained to them about the dream. And he said the dream is about him becoming a beggar. He dreamt as though he has become a beggar, starving for food and suffering, So, and all the ministers said, okay, now what is you are woken up, no, what is your problem now? He said, no, that's not my problem. My problem is, am I Janaka who dreamt as a king? Or am I that beggar who is dreaming myself to be the king now? Which is true? Like all of you, the ministers also did not understand the quick question. So they all said, what? Sir, what obvious question you are asking? You're this one. A similar story we have in Zen tradition also. Zen master who woke up and he got so scared, He was so scared to come out of the room. So two disciples were coming and knocking the door, and he is refusing to open the door to allow them to enter also. He said, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared. What is it? I have become a moth. He said, I dreamt as a moth, I dreamt as a moth. He said, so what? So what? Saying, another disciple was passing by that side. He heard that. He brought a bucket of water and flung it on his face. Who? The master's face. And the guru said, you have got nirvana, go. He said, you are past. When you are dreaming, what are you supposed to do? Wake up, man. Yes. What nonsense. Same way, Janaka was asking, the ministers can't do all that, So ministers got totally confused. You say, because their confusion is, what is the confusion of the king, first of all? Because it is obvious that it is Janaka who dreamt as a beggar. What are you asking? And all of them gives, uniform answer that, sir, you are king. What is your doubt on that now? He said, no, it's not, this is not the answer. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. And then finally the king said, I don't know. Go and find the answer and come back. If you guys don't know the answer, go and find the answer and come back for me. And the ministers got totally confused now. They're all looking at each other. They said, first of all, we should understand the problem, not to go for a solution. They didn't even understand the problem. So they were searching, they were waiting, what to do. And the king had given them 1 week time. He said, next week, next Friday, I will ask. So you better come up with an answer, or else all will be put in jail. All the ministers will be put in jail. So they don't know what to do. And finally, they found one master, Ashtavakra. The sage, Ashtavakra. These ministers, went to that sage and surrendered to him. They said, our king has asked a question. We don't know what is his problem. I think something has gone off with him. So can you come and help? Ashtavakra told them, I have understood what his problem. I will solve it. You don't worry. Go and tell him. Tomorrow I will come and solve his issue. And the next day, Friday morning, the assembly gathered. And the king asked, we got the answer. They said, the sage had promised to give answer to your question. And the sage came, and Janaka repeated that question. The repetition is the best part of the question. He is explaining that sage the question as though he just woke up from the dream. It's 1 week past. Okay. After 1 week, he is explaining the dream. He is speaking as though just now he woke up from the dream. The sage said, what's your question now? He said, am I the king who dreamt as a beggar, or am I that beggar who is dreaming myself to be the king? Ashtavakra gave a reply, you are neither. You are neither this king nor that beggar. You are yourself. That's it. You take it or leave it. You are neither this nor that. You don't understand that. You need to do a lot of inquiry to understand. There's knowledge. That's the Ashtavakra Gita. And then he gives instructions to the king. Of a fascinating text between the King Janaka and the sage. Is known as Ashtavakra Gita. We don't know the original name of this. The name is Ashta. Ashta means 8. Vakra means bent. The person who had 8 bends on his body. You can imagine how he would have walked into the assembly. Imagine someone like that were to be walking in. Will everyone laugh or stand up in reverence? And the sage walks. People stood up in reverence. It shows the maturity of the community. You look at someone walking like this, it's comedy for most of us. The sage is of a different caliber. He says, what are you? Great message he gives. Ashtavakra Gita, you are neither. You believe the waking to be real, the waker to be real. There is no difference between the waker and the dreamer. Therefore, Mandukya Upanishad says there are no three states. There are only two states of consciousness that is known to human: dream, deep sleep. Waking state they don't recognize. They dismiss. Why? It's the same thing. It's the same thing that you are experiencing. Therefore, what? Waking state they don't recognize. But for our conversational purpose, we say where we are right now to be waking state. You know, for the student state, they come down and they say, okay. Highest thing they say is there is only one state, the state of pure consciousness. You can't understand that. Then what you understand, you say what? There are three states that I experience, sir. The student says. The teacher says, what is a proof? There are no three. There are actually only two states that you are going through. What is it, sir? Dream, deep sleep, dream, deep sleep, dream, deep sleep. Dream within dream. Have you had? Very interesting experience. You dream and you dream inside the dream. And it's just an idea. Now these guys have made a lot of money out of it. You know, this movie, Inception. That's a brilliant fellows. They just got one idea. What is it, sir? One calendar is it getting over by 2012. This Mayan calendar. That's all it is. Now in our calendar has 60 years, cycle. 60 years will get over, and then again 61, no, 1 will start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 57, 58, 59, 60. And then what's that? No, 61. 1 again. Like that, this Mayan calendar is getting completed. And these fellows made a movie out of it and convinced the whole world to believe 2012 is the end of it. Now, recently, one more fellow raised this one issue. He said the 2012 was a wrong calculation. The right calculation for you to have is only in 2020, not 2012. And the proof he says is what? Corona is there now. And they'll make a movie out of it again. You just have to wait for some more time. Just have to wait. I think they have already made one movie earlier. I saw somewhere referring to some, something they told me to watch. Of course, I didn't watch, but I forgot. Inception. In that movie, he shows, he goes to the dream. In the dream, he dreams. Then he goes to one more level of dream. Over a period of time, the hero gets totally confused. Where is he now? When you wake up, where are you now? Are you in the waking state or are you in the dream state? That's how this pictorial, thing they give. A snake eating its tail, swallowing its tail. Have you seen? A snake starts swallowing its tail. What will happen? It will go this side and come out that side, isn't it? And it is stuck, it starts eating its own tail and it is stuck. You can neither throw that out nor it can swallow it. That is called samsara chakra, they say. You are stuck in that wheel. What does it say? Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Now, you do that inquiry, you understand there is no solidarity to this waking experience of yours. But all of us believe in the solidarity of the waking experience. Now, we all understand the illusory nature of the dream experience. Correct. Whatever you went through in the dream, that is not real, you say. Correct. And there are people who do a lot of analysis on that. Dream interpretations. The dream has this meaning, that meaning. See, there is no meaning to it. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is a right person, to give this sort of explanations. fellow went up to asked him, what about all these things? He said, hey, when you vomit, what do you do? Clean, or do you analyze what all you had for lunch? You have for lunch, you eat something, you vomit. When you vomit, what do you do with it? Analyze or clean? This dream analysis, he says, is like what? It is just like analyzing the vomit. Your system is vomiting. That's your dream. One way. Or when you analyze from different angles, they do this dream analysis and the deep sleep analysis. When you do all that analysis, what is the final conclusion you come to? So you come to an understanding that all this experience that you believe to be so solid, so real, and you will swear by that. You will vouch for it. Say, what are you talking? All this 47 years of my life I can give total account. Still, what is it, sir? Traveling in a bus, I just dozed off for 2 minutes. It is actually 2 minutes of dozing off in the bus. I give account of 47 years. How is it possible? Now, which is real? The 47 years or the 2 minutes? Now, what is interesting is, as long as I am inside, I will say that is real, this is not real. Once I go there, I say that is real, this is not real. Once I go into deep sleep, I say both are not real, only deep sleep is real. Nothing. In the dream, I say dream is real. Deep sleep, waking, rejected. I go to waking state, I reject dream and deep sleep. I go to deep sleep, I reject dream and waking. Which is real? It's illusory in nature. Illusory in the sense, don't think illusion means something which doesn't exist. That is unreal. Remember, that's not what is referred. That's unreal. No. That is not what we say here. You're not saying that experience that you are having is unreal. No, it is illusory. Illusory means it appears to be real for a period of time. That's all. It has a beginning and an end. Anything that has a beginning and an end is called illusory. That's all it is. It has a beginning and it ends. Then we say what? Then we give examples for illusion. What is it, sir? You see this crystal and believe that to be silver, or a mirage that you see. It is there. You can see clearly there is water. But what is it, sir? It's not real. Why? Once you go there, what happens to it? It disappears. Mirage. Therefore, we call it as illusory. Why? The moment you go there, it disappears. Similarly, the waking state and the dream state of experience that you go through, which you genuinely believe to be real, you are experiencing. Why? Because of the presence of your mind. The mind goes away. Where is dream? Where is waking? What's the proof, sir? In deep sleep, there is no world. Why there is no world in deep sleep? Because there is no mind. In deep sleep, there is no mind. Therefore, there is no world. In dream, there is partial mind. Therefore, partial world. In waking, full mind. Therefore, full world. So, therefore, world has its existence on what? The existence of the world is dependent on the presence of the mind. As the mind, so will be the world. Isn't it? Student mind, student world. Businessman mind, businessman world. Political mind, political world. Divine mind, divine world. Now you go back to the story. To explain this, we give a story. What does it say? Duryodhana and Yudhishthira both were asked to go around and find one good man and one bad man respectively. Duryodhana's agenda is to go and find one good fellow. Yudhishthira's agenda is to go and find one bad fellow. Both came back empty-handed together. Once again, Krishna got confused. Because they were coming back together. So he thought, what he's going to say what? Either Duryodhana is going to say, I found a fellow, or Yudhishthira is going to say, I found a fellow. But what is interesting is both the fellows come together to meet Krishna, and both of them say what? Sir, sorry, we could not find. Why? Because there is no good or bad in the world. Depends on your mind. Now, that's what he says. Born of Swapna Vicharam. It's essenceless. So what do you have to do? Inquire, man. Paribhava. Inquire. Sarvam asaram. When you do this inquiry, you understand there is no essence, there is no substance to it, there is no solidarity to it, there is no proper foundation to it. So when you squeeze, you should get an essence out of it. If nothing comes, go on squeeze, nothing comes, what is it, sir? There is no substance. That's how the world is, he says. Understand. When you do this inquiry, you will understand that. Right. Verse 23, verse 24. Verse 24. Tvai mayi chanya traiko Vishnu gartham kupyasi mayya sahishnu Bhavasamachitta sarvatratvam vanchasya chiradhyati Vishnutu. In you, in me, and elsewhere pervades the one reality, Vishnu. In vain you are angry with me, being impatient. Render your mind equanimous at all times if you are keen on the state of Vishnu. Medhaditi. We don't know who, we just know his name, that's about it. He's also another student of Shankara. Now this verse is a further corollary of the previous verse. Now when you do that inquiry, you understand the world has no substance. Now this insubstantial world, to exist, there has to be a substance. There has to be a substratum. The substratum of this is what? Like this entire dream world exists in the waker's mind. The waker's mind is the foundation on which the whole dream is existing. Or a simpler example we give is objective examples. They say gold is the substratum of all the ornaments. Clay and pot. The pots were illusory. Pots have no existence of its own. But clay is independent of pot. The ornament is dependent on gold, but gold is not dependent on ornament. Okay. So Vishnu, when he says here in this verse, don't take it as a Trinity God, Vishnu. A lot of people take. This Vishnu means immediately we go to this Trinity, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma. No, that's not what is referred here. Vishnu means the all-pervading. That's the meaning of it. The dhatu is vish, means to enter. The one who has penetrated, entered into every nook and corner of the universe is called a Vishnu. The one who is all-pervading. To put it in a very simpler term, call it as all-pervading. Is there not in you, in me, elsewhere, means everywhere, pervades the one reality, Vishnu. Then this is the best part of the verse. There are a few verses, there are a few parts, which I like the most. Best part of the verse is this instruction. In vain you are angry with me, being impatient. It's a beautiful verse. Beautiful message of this verse. All pervading and all that is correct. Vishnu is all pervading. There is an all pervading reality, penetrating. All that is fine. There's nothing, wrong in that. But before that, what is, practical instruction to the student is a direct instruction to the student is, in vain you are angry with me, he says. Because if you were to be following the Bhajagovindam class carefully, by now you would be irritated with me. You won't be saying, I like this class so much. You say, what? This fellow, I can't stand him. That's what should have happened. Anyway, that's not happened to you, so you don't have to worry about it. But he is talking to the student who is following this 23 verses. If you follow, a fellow will get so frustrated and so angry. So much of irritation you will get. What is the irritation, sir? That's the best part here. Why do you get angry? Very interesting. What is there to get angry here? Now, this anger, what we refer to, is not to be taken just casually about the fundamental principle of anger. The foundation of anger is only this. What does it say? You have a desire. When your desire gets interrupted, you get a feeling towards that interruption. Your reaction towards that interruption to your desire is called anger. So, if there is no desire, there cannot be anger. It is not possible. No desire, no anger. So long as you have a desire, there is always a possibility of some interruption coming in the way to the fulfillment of the desire. Then what will happen, sir? Your thoughts will no longer be moving towards the desired object. Now it will start moving towards the obstacle, towards that which stands in between. So the thoughts gets redirected, deflected. Instead of moving there, it starts moving here. Like they give a beautiful example. In the river flowing, if the stone were to be standing above the surface of the water, you will hear noise, isn't it? There could be rocks below the surface of water. You will not hear any sound. The moment the rocks were to be above the surface of water, there will be noise. Rocks are there. It's only a question of position, above or below. If it is above the surface, there will be noise. Same way, in the flow of the desire, if there is an obstruction, visible obstruction, there will be noise. That noise is called anger. That's all. It's very simple. And I'm not going into what all will happen if you get angry, how to deal with it, all is not our point here. Now, what is interesting here is, here the situation is very different. Here the student comes in to the teacher to learn to overcome desires. Right? He's coming here only for what? He's not coming for the sake of knowing certain informations. He's not coming for that. He is coming to Shankara for what? With this knowledge, with your instructions, with this understanding, I should be able to overcome my desire. I want to overcome my desires. That is his basic thought. Then, from where he is going to get angry? And he says, Vyartham, says, your anger has no meaning. It's a waste. In vain you are getting angry with me. In fact, all angers are vain only. Any anger of yours is useless. You know? But at least you will get certain temporary results from anger. Okay. Permanent damage, temporary, success. That may be possible. He says in vain means absolutely it's of no use. In vain you get angry with me. Why? Because the student is coming with so much of passion for knowledge. Right? So when the student comes with a lot of passion for knowledge, what is his attitude towards knowledge? What is his attitude? He says, I have an ignorance. To counter that ignorance, I need this knowledge. So, he comes with the idea of what? Knowledge is the solution for my ignorance. So, when he comes to the teacher, what the teacher will do, what the teacher is expected to do, give him knowledge, isn't it? Now, if you carefully analyze, Shankara has not given any knowledge in bhajagovindam. If you read bhajagovindam, he has not given anything. All that he has done is, this is not, this is not, this is not. He goes on analyzing your ignorance. And the student says what? I know that. I know that already. I know that samsara already. I know this already. I know this already. Now he goes on analyzing that, the teacher. And the student gets what? Hey, come to solution. Now tell me what should I do? Tell me what is it? Now don't go on explaining what is this, what is this, what is this. No. Now tell me, how am I to renounce? How am I to get detached? Tell me that. That's what I want to know. I'm not interested in knowing what is attachment and all. I'm not interested. I don't want to know all those things. I know attachment. I know I am attached. Now tell me, how am I to get detached? That is where I need your help. But the teacher will do what? No. You know what is attachment? He will explain what is attachment. And the student says, okay. He goes back, comes again. Yes, this is immediately what is, because the nature of us is this. You come for knowledge. The teacher goes on exploring ignorance. He doesn't come this side at all. he goes on penetrating into ignorance more, ignorance more, ignorance more. He will go on analyzing ignorance more and more and more. Somewhere down the line, what will happen to the student? Now, by going on exploring ignorance, what will happen? Nothing is going to happen. Sir, we want a cure for coronavirus. Don't go on explaining what all corona will do. We know all that. I am suffering. I know all the things. Now give me the medicine, man. And the teacher says what? Wait. You know what corona is? What will happen to you? Somewhere down the line, how is it possible for you not to get angry? If you are not getting angry with the teacher, that means you are not a student. The student should get angry, should get so frustrated, and still stay with him. That's what the problem. Either we never experience frustration. The first sign of frustration, you drop that fellow and go to another fellow. That's all. And no, this is not the right teacher. You will say what? Hey, he doesn't know, man, actually. All these days, what he has been doing, he is only exploiting us. Using, that's all. Actually, he doesn't know anything. Correct. He doesn't know anything. Why? You just can't understand. It is impossible for a seeker. That's where we say the primary qualification for a student is to have that Shraddha, the faith, without which it is impossible for you to progress. You see, in vain you are angry with me. Being impatient. Impatient, what is it? That's why nowadays we have, weekend course on self-realization. Crash course on self-realization. All that you have to do is what? Enroll and come there and stay with me for 5 days. After 5 days, you will have all realization. That's it. And people pay through their nose to attend those things. Yes, nothing doing. You will not get it. What is it? You need patience. Why do you need patience? Question now. Why do you need patience? Remember in life, when there is a little drizzle we get, next day morning we see in the lawn, you see the weeds have grown. The weeds are there. Next day, one day, it grows. What about paddy? Does it grow like that? Wheat. Imagine, you don't have to do anything. Wheat were to be growing like weeds everywhere by itself. No cultivation is needed. No tilting is needed. No fertilizing is needed. No manure needed. No pruning needed. Nothing is needed. All that you have to do is what? Rain comes. Next day morning you go to the field. There will be full of paddy, full of rice, full of wheat, full of ragi, full of all this. It doesn't come. 4 months you have to slog in the field. Then you get it. Okay. What about bamboo? That's even more interesting. Mango tree. Paddy you get in 4 months. This crops, 3 months are there. 3 months, 4 months crops are there. Mangoes, it takes 5 years for the mangoes to start yielding. What about bamboo? Bamboo shoot. for 6 years, there will be nothing. That's what bamboo is. It will not be there at all. You will not see anything. Look, very small, tiny, little come out. That's all. For 5.5, 6 years, you get so frustrated. You pack your bags and leave the place. You come back after 6 months, you see 60 feet tall. Shoot. It shoots to about 40, 50 feet, goes up in 6 months' time. What is it, sir? That's the nature of it. Now remember, in life, always there is a time gap between your effort and the effect. It's not that you put in effort, instantly you get the effect. Never you get it. If you are getting instant effect, what is it? Weed. Only weeds you will get instant effect. Instant, it is impossible. Instantly you cannot become a literate. Instantly you cannot become a mathematician. Like people call me, and say, can you teach Vedanta in our, institution? I say, okay, how long will you give me time? They say, one day? Can you come one day and teach Vedanta? I say, 10 days? In a year? 10 days in a year? I say, can you make a student mathematician by teaching him mathematics for 10 days? Whole life, you teach him only 10 days mathematics. Does he become a mathematician? Then on what basis we all believe that religion, spiritual, and all this, you can grow to become a religious person, to become a spiritual person by just attending a weekend course. Weekend course you attend, can you become? It is not possible. Even if you go to a weekend course, that course has to be systematically designed, not random. Isn't it? Why is that? Any subtler things you go in life takes time. The problem is to put in that effort and patiently wait for the result to come is where the problem for all of us is. This is the secret of success. You understand the secret, you would know to be successful anywhere in the world, no matter what the situation is. There is only one rule of success. What is it, sir? Work and then forget it. Our problem is what? We will not work and we'll go on remembering, or else we work and going on asking, will I get it? Will I get it? Will I get it? Will I get it? That's what he says. Sahish means what? You have to have that patience. Why? It takes time. Any effect to come about takes time. You want instant, don't come to spiritual. Spiritual effects for you to recognize, you need couple of janmas. You will not get it immediately. It is like Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court cases you will not get judgments in the Supreme Court in a matter of 1 week. The mobile court, you will hear it. Mobile courts, are there, where they give judgment. Straight away it will be given. They hear the case and give the judgment. They hear the case and give the judgment. In the Supreme Court, by the time they accept the case itself, then to hearing to another hearing to another hearing, will go a couple of years. Why? Because the case is complex. The Supreme Court will not take the cases which are so straightforward. Sir, he jumped the signal, pay fine, problem solved. All that the traffic police has to prove is what? You have jumped the signal. That's all he has to do. Show the picture. Problem solved. Pay the fine, get out. In the Supreme Court, every case is a complicated case. So, more the complex the cases, will take more time to give the judgment. Now, growth in life is going to be what? It is not a straightforward one. It takes time. And why do you get angry, man? He says, one. There's another reason. It is interesting to ask this question. Who will get angry? Who gets frustrated with the teacher? Only the student who has put in heart and soul. Only he will get frustrated with the teacher. The one who has not staked his life will not. They will never get angry. They are very happy with the teacher. They'll be happy with the instructions, with the masters, with God. You have to stake everything. It's like the gambler, who had staked the whole thing and is waiting for the coin, the spinning is going on. It is not stopping. It is spinning, spinning, spinning. He will not say, I wait, no problem, man. I can wait. He will not say that. The fellow who has kept only $1 there, he has $50,000 with him. He pays, $1 there. And what he will do? No problem. Till I finish the drinks, he can keep spinning. I don't have any issue. There is a fellow who has kept that entire $50,000 there for him to play. If he gets, he gets. If he loses, he has lost the whole thing. How he would be? You can't tell him, be patient. You see, it's so frustrating for him. You see, that's why he says, because of that impatience, you are getting angry with me. Why that impatience? He's not, that instruction is very interesting to whom it is given. This instruction is not for everybody. This instruction is given to the fellow who has started that inquiry of 23. He says, then what is it? You have not inquired, there is no problem at all. I say, if you say this, if you say, sir, the world that I'm experiencing right now is also nothing but dream. You cannot have your dinner. You cannot sleep. For us, what is it? It's okay. Yeah, he spoke very well today. Today's class was very interesting. That's all it is. Now, that's not for this fellow. He says what? Hey, you have completely pulled the carpet. You hit me under the belt. And then say, it's okay. Relax, man. No problems. Yeah. What nonsense is this? How can he not be? How do you expect him to be having the patience? Relax. He cannot relax. Remember, a real sadhak is one who will have tremendous stress, tension. He has to have BP. If the sadhak is not having a BP, then he is not a sadhak at all. You should have that tension. You should have that frustration, which is a very different type of frustration. Don't take it as, your frustration, his frustration. You're also frustrated, he is also frustrated. Therefore, both are same. This is what our problem is. See, one fellow, he became a pauper because he had written off his entire properties. All his wealth he has given as charity. Another fellow, he also became a pauper, houser in gambling, horse race. Both are paupers, but you can't say quality of these two fellows are same. See, this fellow, he is pauper. At the same time, there's something extraordinary about this person. This fellow is also pauper. There's something gross about this personality. There's a world of difference between the two. That this recognition is what is needed here. Yartham, man. In vain you are getting angry with me. Says, don't get angry. What you are getting angry? Why do you get angry, sir? Because imagine you like pizza. Right? Which pizza you like, sir? I like, Papa John's. Not any pizza, Papa John's only I like. Pizza. Other pizzas are useless. I'm just giving an example, okay? Papa John's. So Friday, Papa John's. Saturday, Papa John's. Sunday, Papa John's. Monday, Papa John's. Papa John's. Papa John's. Papa John's. Or you say you like curd rice. So what is it, sir? Every day lunch, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice. What will happen over a period of time? You say, hey, don't you know anything else to cook? Isn't it? Don't we ask a wife in the house? You say, hey, don't you know anything else? Why is that? Anywhere, you go on repeating the same thing. Now you come to the class, no matter what class I'm taking, all the classes are same thing only. No difference. You see, essentially what are you saying? Same thing. If you follow, you'll say what? Hey, you are repeating the same thing, man. Therefore what? Therefore, obviously what will happen? You will get that, you will feel that frustration, you see. That is what he calls as anger. That's what he says. Anger in the sense of that. In vain you are angry with me. Why? Don't get angry. Don't say that, Ishwaran, you are repeating the same thing. Don't say that, the scriptures are repeating the same thing. You read the 256 Upanishads, same thing they say. There is no difference. All the Upanishads you read, same thing. 18 Puranas you read, same thing. All the 4 Vedas, same thing they say. No difference. It's all saying repeating the same thing. Now you hear that over and over again and again and again. Somewhere down the line, what will happen? You will say what? I've heard him already here. That's why people say what? We call and tell them, hey, bhajagovindam class is going on. I have already attended bhajagovindam class. I have already attended bhajagovindam class. Bhagavad Gita, which chapter you are doing? We are doing, chapter 6 now. Oh, I have already attended the 6th chapter. 7 chapters I have done. From each chapter when you are starting, you let me know, please. So I have to remember that this person wants to attend, 8th chapter Gita. So when I am starting the 8th chapter of Gita, I have to call that person and tell them, hey, I am starting 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then they will agree, okay, I'll attend your class. Doing such a charitable act for me. You are attending my class. What are we doing? Very interesting to see people. Why? When you want to repeat something, you get frustrated. That's why when we go to this businessman and all, they don't like repetition. If you are a good businessman, wiser, this is the problem of us. Repetition. The teacher goes on repeating what? You go on repeating the same thing. So the teacher is also going on repeating the same thing. Now it is not that the teacher wants to repeat it. No. You are repeating the same. What are you repeating? Whatever it is, it's real only no, isn't it? Whatever it is, this world that you are experiencing is real only no, isn't it? You still carry that conviction. So how do you remove that, sir? Now he can't say something else for that. He will go on saying what? Same thing. The whole world is nothing but what? Nama Rupa. That's all. The entire world that you are experiencing is Nama Rupa, names and forms. It's just a name, just a form. That's all. This is a bangle. This is, a ring. This is a nose ring. This is an earring. It is an anklet. It is this. It is that. You may say anything. You will go on saying, this design is different. That design is different. This design is different. This bangle is for a different purpose. That is for a different purpose. This is looking good for this person. That is looking good for that person. All the things you may say, but the teacher will go on saying what? That's gold. This gold. Is gold. Is gold. Is gold. Is gold. But you go on repeating what? This is bangle. This is a ring. This is a nose ring. This is a jewel. This is an anklet. This is all different. As far as you are concerned, everything is different. As far as he is concerned, everything is same. Now, there is a tussle between the two. What does it say? Are you correct or am I correct? In any arguments, in any discussion, your statements versus my experience. If there is a conflict, which one I will take? I repeat, if there is a conflict, if there is a disparity between what you say or what the scripture says, what the teacher says, what those gurus are saying, and what we experience, which one we will take? All of us will take only what we experience. We will not take what he says. It's not possible. So obviously there is going to be what? There is a contradiction. So once that contradiction goes beyond a point, we come to one conclusion. What is a conclusion we come to? We agree to disagree. Politically we are being correct. That's about it. Wherever we say, I agree to disagree, what are we saying? You keep your opinion, I keep my opinion. Full stop. But the conversation between the relationship between the student and the teacher, the guru and the sishya, is not a debate. You see, he is not calling for a discussion with the master. A true guru will never go for a debate session. He will never go for a argument. They will not. They get lost and walk out. They will not bother about it. He will not call for a conversation with you. If you call him, he will say, "What? Who are you to have a discussion with me?" and walk out. You keep yours, I keep mine, and say you'll go out. But the student is one who goes and says, "I am not sure whether my experience to be kept as a finality or your teaching." there is a conflict. That conflict is what he is calling here as anger. There will be conflict between you, your beliefs, and the instructions of the teacher. You will go and tell him, I love my child. He will say, no, you are attached to your child. Finished. You go and tell him, I am doing charity. He says what? No, it is not charity. Now, what will you do? Finally, you come back saying what? Instead of giving it to his trust, I gave it to that trust. No, that's why he's speaking like that. You will say and walk out. Isn't it? That's what people think. They say, if he were to be given to your trust, then what you would have done? Forget about it. Instead of giving it to your trust, he gives it to you. Then still will you say it is not charity? No. Therefore what? You will dismiss and walk out. That dismissal is what he is saying, anger. In vain you are getting angry with me. Why? In that dismissal, you are reinforcing your reality. You are reinforcing your ego. You are reinforcing your samsara. That's all. So, you start with the purpose of getting out of samsara. All the things that you are doing in the process is reinforcing your samsara. You are defeating the very purpose with which you have started. Therefore, he says, in vain, you are getting angry with me. You see that? Beautiful one. These ideas are so enchanting, You think you will get more and more out of it. In vain, you are getting angry with me. What is that? What is that anger, sir? That's very interesting. Now, don't say it's like anger like what we get angry. No, it's not that. Then what is it, sir? In vain. Now remember, the relationship with the teacher has started and it is traveled over 23 verses. Okay. We all know one rule of life that we live with. That is, the moment you become familiar, then what happens, sir? Familiarity breeds contempt. Isn't it? The moment you become familiar, what happens? You see, so long as you are not familiar, it is a different thing. That's why with the strangers, we are all very cultured, isn't it? The strangers, you say, excuse me, in the line when you're standing, you say, excuse me, and you go. But in the house, how do you behave? Why? Familiar. You see, the moment you become familiar with someone, invariably what happens? You lose the refinement. The culture is to be familiar and maintain that refinement. That is called a cultured person. Who is a cultured person, sir? It's very important to recognize. This is how these people give clues in life. This is what I call as practical instructions to live life. How should you live? Cultured person. You have to know who is a cultured person. So long as you are at a distance, we have a very reverential things. We respect a lot. You do all that, decorums and all that is there. But the moment you come closer, what happens? Immediately the thing goes off. Like they say, the previous generations all had a great value for teachers. The current generation is not having that much of value for the teachers. Why? We started one great philosophy in between, early to 2000 and all. The teachers should come down to the level of the students to teach. No, teacher should not come down. Student has to step up. If you cannot step up, forget it. Like Yudhishthira saying, take that one step, I will carry you from then. Beautiful one. This, Swarga, these people started walking after, the coronation. They ruled for a period of time and then Krishna passed away. When Krishna passed away, they got the news. They said, now no longer we should be living anymore. So we also pack off. So what to do, sir? They said, we'll go to heaven straight. So they started walking. When they started walking, towards the Himalayas, they say, somewhere, heavens are there. Say the gates, you can climb up. We don't know where it is or not. Now don't ask. Maybe with the Chinese troop, maybe they would know. Where is it? We should ask them. Whether it is in Tibet or whether it is in Nepal, whether it is in India, where we don't know. But somewhere they went up. They are walking. Yudhishthira first, Bhima, Arjuna. That's how usually they go always. The walk last is Draupadi. Draupadi faints and say, I'm not able to take that step. Can you help me? Yudhishthira stopped and said, no. You come up to me. From then I will carry you. That's it. Draupadi fell. Then Sahadeva fell. Then Nakula fell. Then the great Arjuna fell. Bhima, the fellow who carried all of them and walked across such a mighty Bhima, he also fell and said, brother, help me. He said, nothing. You walk. From then on, I will carry you. That's the conviction. That is what the teacher is. Say, you come up to me, man. I don't come down to your level. Now they say what? The teacher should be friendly with the students. But one thing for sure, what is it, sir? Once you become familiar, that value will be lost. There will not be any respect for you. You see, there's no, that non-reverential relationship. No matter who the other person is. That's all. It's very simple. You feel them to be extraordinary only from a distance. You go closer to them, they look very ordinary to your eyes. That's where the problem is. He says, you see, a cultured person is one who would go closer and closer to someone who has the substance. I'm not saying with everybody, please. If the other person were to have a substance, you should have the capacity to maintain that reverence towards them. The problem is what? We don't have that. We have a very, it is lingering in this country even now. Little is there in this country as of now. We have this idea of having this respect to the teachers. But once you become familiar, what's the proof, sir? With the friends, how they talk. What's the conversation they have amongst friends? You see, you can't record it and hear again. So gross, so low. Why? They say, nothing wrong in that. I'm not saying it is wrong, please. But I say one thing. What is it, sir? Once you become familiar with a person, you tend to disregard. He says, once you come closer to the teacher, the teacher will come more closer towards you. That's what is very important to recognize here. The relationship between the Guru and Sishya. Guru will come as a friend. Remember, the student should never go to the teacher as a friend. You see, Krishna can tell Arjuna, Arjuna, I am teaching this to you. Why? Because you are my friend. Correct. But Arjuna cannot say to Krishna, I am asking you because you are my friend. No. Because you are my refuge. You are the only savior I know. Only you can solve this problem. He should come in that angle. The student should come from this angle alone. The student should not do that. The teacher can come and put his arms around the shoulder of the student. If the student also does that, it's low. Like, I know, I don't sit in front of Swamiji in the chair. He'll say, sit down. I sit on the floor. They say, now, a lot of people come along with me. I take them and I sit on the floor. They get confused what to do. Now, I can't sit. I say, it's not possible for me. Now he says, come on. He will talk. That shows how compassionate he is to treat me equal. That is his compassion. Now, I cannot be treating him equal. You see, over a period of time, when you have that relationship going, right, what will happen, sir? Somewhere down the line, what will happen? We start, switching over the things from this to that. And that's what he calls as Yartham Kupyasi Mayasa. In vain, you are getting angry. You don't do that, please. What? There is a natural tendency in all of us to do it. He says, consciously you got to resist. There are 4 different angles I have given. Okay. Apart from this, Vishnu and all those things. That's a different thing. 4 different aspects are there. Now, recognize that. And therefore, he says, in vain you are angry with me, being impatient. What you have to do is, if you also have to reach to that state of Vishnu, that all-pervading reality, then what you have to do is, render your mind equanimous at all times. Why, sir? Because the Gita says, Samatvam Yoga Uchate. Verse 48, chapter 2. Samatvam Yoga Uchate. He says, equanimity is yoga. You have to render your mind equanimous, balanced in all situations. If you have to reach to that state of reality, to understand that reality, what do you need to do is that? Make your mind balanced. We'll see you.